Assalamu alaikum. We're trying to protect our iman by knowing the commands of our Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but doing so by reading about the life of our Prophet. Before I continue, I'd like to again read from the book Ethics of Islam. Property and ranks are all given to us out of the decree and the will of Allah Ta'ala and owing to His creativity according to His decree. Blessings means things that are beneficial to human beings. Human beings experience sweetness by possessing them. All types of blessings are sent only by Allah Ta'ala. There is none besides Him who creates and sends them. Let us continue. The father of mankind, Adam Alaihissalam, when he descended onto the earth, had made recourse to our master the Prophet. Our beloved Prophet related this incident in one of his hadith sharifs as follows. When Adam Alaihissalam had erred and was taken out of paradise, he said, "O my Rabb, forgive me for the sake of Muhammad Alaihissalam." Allah Ta'ala accepted his prayer and asked, "How do you know my beloved Prophet Muhammad Alaihissalam?" "I have not created him yet." He answered, "When you created me, as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah written on the edges of the arsh. It stated his name with yours, showing your love for him. And Allah Ta'ala said, O Adam, you have told the truth. He is the most beloved of all my creatures. As you have asked forgiveness for his sake, I have accepted your prayer and forgiven you." According to another report, he decreed, "He is a prophet who will be one of your descendants. If I had not created him, I wouldn't have created you and your descendants. Since you had recourse to him as an intercessor, I have forgiven you." There are thousands of examples about this. Some of them are stated below. A man blind in both eyes asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to pray so that his eyes could see. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "I will pray if you wish, but it will be better if you have patience and endure it." "I have no power left to endure. I beg you to pray." The blind Muslim replied. Then our master the Prophet ordered him, perform an ablution and say the prayer, "Allahumma inna as'aluka wa atawajju ilayka ya nabika Muhammadin, Nabiya ya Rahman. Ya Muhammad, inna atawajjuhu bika ila Rabbi fi hajati li taqdiya li Allahumma shafi hufiya al-Imam al-Nasa'i al-Rahim Allah Ta'ala." In a hadith alim scholar reported that when the blind man prayed, Allah Ta'ala accepted his prayer and recovered. About making tawassul with our master Rasulullah, Hadrat Uthman bin Hanif narrated the following event. When Uthman bin Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhuma was the Khalifa, someone who was in great trouble told me about his personal grief and that he was ashamed of going to the Khalifa. I told him to perform an ablution and go to the Masjid al-Sahada and say the prayer which restored the blind Muslim's sight. That poor man, after saying the prayer, went to the Khalifa. He was received. The Khalifa had him sit on his prayer rug and listened to him and his troubles and accepted his request. That poor man, seeing his problems solved at once, came to Osman bin Hanif and cheerfully said, "May Allah Ta'ala bless you. I wouldn't have been able to get rid of those troubles if you hadn't had a word with the Khalifa." I suppose that Osman bin Hanif had spoken with the Khalifa. Once a famine took place during the Caliphate of Umar radiallahu ta'ala an. Hadrat Bilal bin Haris radiallahu ta'ala an, a sahabi, went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's tomb and said, "O Rasulullah, your Ummah companions are starving to death. I beg you to intercede for us that it shall rain." That night he dreamed of Rasulullah saying, Go to the Khalifa, give my salam to him and tell him to go out and pray for rain. Hadrat Umar went to pray for rain, and it started raining. Allah Ta'ala accepts prayers for the sake of His beloved servants. Allah Ta'ala declared that He greatly loves Muhammad Alaihissalam. Therefore, if someone prays saying, Allahumma inna asaluka bijahi nabika de Mustafa, his prayer will not be refused. But it is against adab to make an intercessor of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for unimportant mundane affairs. Burhan ad-Din Ibrahim al-Maliki, rahimahullah ta'ala, told about a very poor man who went to the Hujrat Asada and said, O Rasulullah, I am hungry. After a while, someone came and took him to his house and served him food. When the poor man said that his prayer had been accepted, the host said, My brother, you left your family and home and had a long, strenuous journey to visit Rasulullah. Is it appropriate to enter Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's audience for a morsel of food? You should have asked for paradise and endless favors in that high, noble audience. Allah Ta'ala does not refuse requests there. Those who attain the honor of visiting Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam should pray for him to intercede for them on the Day of Judgment. One day, Imam Abu Bakr al-Mukhri, along with Al-Imam Tabarani and Abu Shaykh rahimahullah ta'ala, were sitting in the Masjid Asada. After having gone a few days without eating, they were very hungry. At last, Imam Abu Bakr, being unable to endure any more, said, I am hungry, O Rasulullah, and retired into a corner. A noble person who was a Sayyid came with his two servants and said, My brethren, you have asked my grandfather, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam, to help you find food. He ordered me to satiate you. They ate all together. He left them with the remaining food and departed. Wa alaikum salam.